All right, so Coach, fall camp, obviously we're in the thick of things here. How has it progressed this year? What have been some kind of the key takeaways from your coaching staff?
I think camp has gone, fairly well. I think our kids have worked hard. We've improved um, every step of the way, and I think our kids are in a good frame of mind. So it's kind of now time to polish it up and get ready for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Have there been any, I guess, pleasant surprises, unexpected challenges during camp that kind of made 2024 a little different?
You know, I don't think there's been many surprises. We've had a lot of our guys here for now 3 and 4 years. So we just wanted to see them get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster as they progress, and they have. And um, the new kids that we've added through the transfer portal have been good additions, but we kind of thought they were going to be good additions. So really no surprises. And I'm pleasantly pleased with the way our kids have gone about their business.
So, I guess which players have stood out during fall camp? You mentioned the portal. I guess new players in the portal that have been standouts, or
Yeah, I think some of our returners, Jalen Justice at linebacker, Ricky Sproul at running back, Jalen Benelli, our receiver, and then our O line. I've thought Brady Anderson's been solid. We've added a couple transfers, and Tyson Foster and Kevin Singer and Brandon Snee. They've all been pretty good. That will help us quite a bit. And then on the defensive side, Logan Barnes has been a really good addition. Sam Martin has also been a really good addition. Those guys we added, some of them in the spring, but some of them this fall. So I think overall, I'm really pleased. Darrell Liverpool has been really, really solid, along with Justin Riley and all our, Zach Ritchie in the back end and our safety. So I think I'm just happy with the way they've gone about their business and worked on a consistent basis to get better.
and then obviously camp is a multi-week process. Team chemistry evolves. Is there anything specific you do to kind of build closeness of a Seahawks squad, or is it just something that evolves on its own?
We have, some things in our locker room where, there's a ping pong table, there's a cornhole in there. And so our kids spend some time there, and we try to give them enough time off to be with each other, if that makes sense. So I think we have, camp is long. The days can get long, so you got to switch them up every once in a while, just to do things a little differently instead of getting into that same old routine. So we've switched up some days, switched up some things that we do normally, but overall the team chemistry has been good, and that's a credit to our players.
So what sets this Wagner squad apart from maybe previous Wagner squads? Obviously, with last year, definitely taking some steps forward. What makes this team different and looking to continue that momentum?
I think we're more talented and we're older. Certainly, we feel the last two recruiting classes have been pretty good, and we've developed some kids, but we've also added some players. So I think we're a more talented team than we've been. We're a bigger team than we've been the first 3 years. I'm a believer players make plays, and it's a player's game. So the more talent you have, the more opportunities you have to be successful.
So you're a coach that obviously have deep ties to Staten Island, especially to Wagner. how do you balance the expectations of the program's legacy? I mean, 1987, right, national champions, with just the day-to-day needs of building a culture, a new culture here?
Well, I think sometimes it's hard. You had a legendary coach here for a long, long time, and he had a great deal of success. And I think sometimes what happens is that the change that's needed in any program, the fresh look out of it, people become, I don't want to say comfortable, but they expect the same things because I played for Coach Hamline or I went to school here. Well, most of my coaching life has been elsewhere at a lot of different places. So, change sometimes is difficult, not only for players, but for everybody. So I think the biggest thing is we don't want to shy away from our great tradition and our, what Coach Hamline did over a long, long period of time. We don't want to shy away from that tradition. We want to build upon it and bring in some new, new things that we can add on to the great tradition here. And that's taken a little bit of time, but I think now it's starting to take hold. And, I think, we're ready to start to win again. And that's a good thing.
I think part of what makes football special, college football especially, are that programs aren't just winning. There's core values, there's principles, things that maybe some of them carry over, but what are some of the ones that you emphasize to your players and your program?
Yeah, we have a board in our team meeting room. We say heart, and it's honesty, enthusiasm, accountability, respect, and trust. And I think, what I talk to our players about on a continual basis is that we want to be trusted. We want to respect not only our teammates and our coaches, but the whole campus and the people on our campus and the people who do a lot for us. We want to earn their respect as we go, and we want to be honest, and upfront with each other, and we want to hold each other accountable. So we talk about those things on a day-to-day basis, and I don't think we're any different than anybody else in that regard. But that's what we hang our hat on. If we could do those things on a day-to-day basis, good things are going to happen for our players in our program.
Yeah, and this is a channel that, really I like emphasizing what makes Northeastern football special. You've been a lot of places, like you said, but you've been a lot of places up here and in New England. Do you think there is anything different about Northeastern football that, the players you recruit are different or stand out? Is there a difference?
Well, I think now we have kids from all over the country, so I think I know I coach down south, and they think it's really special. I've coached up in New England, and they think it's really special. And I've coached here in Staten Island, and we think it's really special. So I think it's the game itself and the people in the game that make it special and make it, each program and school I've been to, they have their own little traditions and little things that they do. Game day, that kind of they feel separates them from it. But I think at the end of the day, I think the great thing about college football is young people competing, and they compete really, really hard on a week-to-week basis, and every game is important. And I think sometimes in sports today, not every game's important, or every regular season game's important. Hey, listen, we have seven league games, and every one of those is really, really important. And every other game that we play is really important. I think that's what what makes it special when you get a group of guys and players that understand that and go out and compete really, really hard each and every week, and see where they stack up. And if they don't stack up that one week, they come back and get after it again the next week. And I think that's what really makes it special. I always say the field's 120 yards long and about 54 yards wide. So, and there's 22 on the field at one time. So I don't think it's any different anywhere else. I think it's the culture of your players and how important it becomes to them.
Yeah, and I mean, the 7 league games are obviously the big ones that mean, I guess if you had to say the most, but you're testing yourself with a really interesting schedule and some big games. Obviously, you're going to Massachusetts, a coach like Don Brown, you're a defensive guy. You have to respect what he's done in Florida Atlantic, opposite side, where you have a head coach like Tom Herman, who's well known as one of the offensive masterminds. What do those big games against FBS schools mean for your program?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think one is our kids love that opportunity to play up. There's no question they love the opportunity to play up and challenge themselves, and that's a great part of the FCS level, that we get to go play the big boys. And our kids certainly have played a lot of them. We've played Rutgers the last 2 years. We've played Navy, Syracuse, on, and there's more big games, the following year. So I think it's great for our kids because they're excited to play in those games. They're excited to test themselves against supposedly higher level of play. And then the other is, let's be honest, there's a financial reward that it allows us to do more for our players that we wouldn't have done or do if we didn't play those games. So, I don't think the game's a great game for the head coach usually at this level, but I've seen our kids compete, and I've seen them play their butts off, and we've had a chance in the past to win a couple of those games. And I tell our guys every time, if you ever win one of those games, you'll remember it for a lifetime. And so those games are great, but they're not the games that really matter. It's the games in our league that matter. And you want to play every game extremely hard and get better. But at the end of the day, it's our conference schedule that's the most important.
I guess, what are your goals for the season then in terms of performance and just team development?
Yeah, I think we have the talent to compete with anybody in our league, and most of the teams outside our schedule, outside our league. So, the NEC is a funny thing. Duquesne has had the upper hand. Sacred Heart had it at one point. So, we went toe-to-toe with Duquesne last year and didn't make a 2-point conversion. So our expectations are like everybody else. The goal is to win a championship and to play, play on Thanksgiving weekend. And I think every team in our league feels that way. I think our league's really balanced. So, now it's let's go play. So I think at the end of the day, if you're not trying to compete for a league title, why are you doing it? And I think finally we're in a position where we can honestly say we feel we can compete with the top teams in our league.
Okay, Coach. Any message for Wagner fans and Staten Island community as we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think the great thing is you're going to have an exciting team to watch, a bunch of great kids that are great student athletes that play really hard, and I think if you come up to a game up on the hill, it's pretty special.
Okay, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You got it, man. Take care. Good luck.